TimeBank believes in a banking future with more for every entrepreneur. Start paying less and getting more. With TimeBank, you've got this.
Welcome to Small Business Evolution. I'm your host, Nondobego Gumede. E-commerce is growing at an unprecedented rate in South Africa, and according to Business Insider, this surge is mostly influenced by restrictions placed on traditional retail outlets due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which resulted in a 30% fall in in-store shopping. To help make sense of all of this and South Africa e-commerce industry in general is Dion Chang, the founder of Flux Trends. Dion, thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Flux Trend prides itself in being the watchdog for emerging ideas taking place in the market that can shift the way small businesses operate, including their business models. Can you just elaborate on what the company offers, especially when it comes to the small business sector?
All right, so we work across different sectors, but obviously retail is also quite a big one. And as you said, we look out for disruptive technologies or anything that might change a business model. So e-commerce is obviously a big one, but we're already tracking something a little bit ahead of that is a category called social commerce, but we can go into that as well. But yes, absolutely. So we really look out for trends as business strategy, and so anything that changes for companies, we're there and we say, okay, you need to go that way or that way.
So just speaking into the trends happening within the e-commerce space in South Africa, you spoke of social commerce. What is that?
So social commerce is really the next level of where we're going to. So if you are on any social media platform, you will know that you can already buy from a social media platform. There'll be a little dot onto the image, and you press that, it takes you to that company's website, and then it goes to your pay gate. The evolution of social commerce is a completely seamless journey, which not many companies have gotten right, so not even the really, really big ones. But the future of social commerce is really when you just stay within one platform and you shop from that platform. You don't go out, you don't go to a different pay gate. Everything is centralized in there. So that obviously takes a lot of back-end work, a lot of UX, user experience to be able to do that. But for me, if that is where we're going for young businesses, for SMEs, that's where you should be looking. And if I have any advice, is to put money aside or put budget aside for UX, that user experience, to make sure that your usability in the back end is seamless and very intuitive.
So you're sticking to one platform.
Yes.
Would that necessarily mean that you are lowering your costs as a small business owner?
You will hopefully, because you would need third parties to be able to make that happen. So you need a lot of cooperation, which is why I'm saying it is kind of the next step. It's happening, but it's not happening as seamlessly as, say, some super apps in China, for example. There you book travel, you pay, you do everything, you do groceries, and you stay within one app. That's the holy grail and the goal that we all onto.
So Dion, COVID-19 basically Mike Tyson us. I like saying this because everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face.
Yes.
So what are some of the ideas or methods that small business owners can adapt in order to just predict the future before it's too late in a way?
All right, so I mean that's what we do, and we have the great pleasure to do this 24/7, and it is 24/7. You have to kind of read everything. You need to kind of find out where the movements are going, and also sometimes different sectors will intersect, and then they will cause that disruption. So, for example, urban mobility and deliveries, e-hailing, all of that intersected with retailers. So now you see different e-hailing companies also do parcel deliveries and pickups. So there's a lot of blurred lines that are happening there.
Yes.
That is a really, really good opportunity for small businesses, because you can say, I can save money if I don't use this big courier system, but I can use an e-hailing company to be able to push my parcels around. I think the spike during the pandemic of e-commerce has enabled other players to come in that will help small businesses. So you don't have to necessarily do everything yourself. So one of the interesting things that's emerging on my radar is a concept called ghost retailers. We don't have that many in South Africa, but essentially ghost retailers are almost like a management company that says to purely online businesses, we will give you a little physical space, and it's not a pop-up, it's kind of a smaller anchor into bricks and mortar, but we will manage a little physical presence while you carry on with your online business. So there's small things that are happening like that, which are going to be game changers in terms of small businesses and smaller companies being able to access a wider audience.
Dion, pre-pandemic, big companies like your Takealots, Woolworths, Superbalist, they had a footing within the e-commerce space.
Yes.
And now we are all just trying to squish ourselves, and there's so much competition. How can small businesses align their business models to be future-proof, to be more sustainable and ahead of their competitors?
No, well, as you're saying, to really, you've got to kind of really keep reading everything or just following whatever those trends are, because they move really, really fast. And we've seen over the pandemic, over 2 years, maybe 3 years, there's been monumental change and fundamental change within that. So to give just a bit of inspiration for small businesses who might be watching, you've seen, and Africa does this a lot, so on the continent of Africa, mobile money wallets spiked during the sort of 2020, 2021, and it spiked to such an extent that African mobile wallets suddenly attributed to about 60% of the global the pie. So that's a really, really big jump. You're also seeing very young entrepreneurs, and that's my big passion, is looking at sort of especially Gen Z, your mid-20s kind of entrepreneur, doing things that your bigger retailers said were impossible. So during the pandemic, we picked up a lot of little companies. People said, oh, well, we can't deliver to informal settlements or townships. These smaller operators found a way to be able to do that. So you're seeing young entrepreneurs, young innovators who find little gaps and say, when the big guys say, no, we can't do that, they find a way to do that. And you've got lots of new technologies. For example, in terms of delivery, people will argue, again, informal settlements, you can't do e-commerce there, but things are happening and being delivered there. If you don't have a street system, there's a lovely system called What 3 Words, which will give you an exact location within 3 square meters. So even if you're in a shack or a peri-urban area, you'll be able to deliver that person with using a What 3 Words address. So really, to your question, is to look at all of these things that outside of the traditional framework of where e-commerce is playing, and see where you can also find things like What 3 Words or these delivery guys, and find different ways in which to push your business through.
Thank you very much, Dion, for joining us. Thank you. Wishing you all the best for Flux Trends.
Thanks so much.
That was the founder of Flux Trends, Dion Chang. Until next time, goodbye.
TimeBank believes in a banking future with more for every entrepreneur. Start paying less and getting more. With TimeBank, you've got this.